Hey, welcome into Fox Weather at Night. I'm meteorologist Kiana Lewis in for Ari Sarsalari tonight. We have a big night ahead of us. A coast-to-coast storm taking aim at the west coast just as parts of the Sierra Nevada are climbing out of 6 feet of snow. Now, beyond that, we're also watching critical fire conditions that are ongoing. More than 300,000 acres that have been burned so far. And tonight has been a busy night here at Fox Weather. We've had severe weather that has unfolded. The top tier threat coming in the highest so far this season, still underway right now with a couple of severe thunderstorms that are playing out tonight. Let's dive into the latest with that. We'll get to the severe weather threat that has been taking shape across parts of the Midwest. You're looking at some of the video.
Circulation coming across one now.
Intense moments Brandon Kopic caught on camera tonight as we saw these storms take shape across the upper Midwest. He was right in the middle of a possible tornado that moved across parts of Illinois. Now, as we dive into the details, we have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are still up across the board this evening. We're watching them closely. So far, we've seen a lot of folks that have been impacted by this severe weather. Top winds coming in at over 70 miles per hour in parts of Indiana. 2 inches of hail already being reported in parts of Illinois. So definitely saw all modes of severe weather unfold across the region for tonight. And diving into the latest of things, we'll get into what things look like right now. We still have what looks to be a tornado warning in place. Sam, if I could have you jump in for me just for a moment. But we've seen a lot of active weather that has been playing out. We've seen the tornado warnings that have popped up. Here's our watch that's still in place until about 11 p.m. tonight. So that's 11 Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, primarily for all of those modes that we talked about. And it is moving into Ohio, which I think is one of the newer states that's been added to this. So we have that tornado warning, or tornado possible. We also watch large hail that's going to be possible, and the possibility of damaging winds. Here's the system in itself. It's marching in from west to east. We see those thunderstorm warnings still in northern parts of Illinois. Looking at central Indiana, just outside of about Bloomington, these look to be some serious supercells that are still popping up. So that has been warned as it pushes on towards the west. Diving in closely here, you'll see that the one just about off towards the north and east of Robinson has a bit of a hook echo to it. So we'll see if they do go ahead and try to highlight this for any type of rotation. Right now, that isn't the case. But as we look kind of close to it, you can see that there's at least somewhat of a couplet trying to form there across parts of Sullivan and out towards Gill. There's a little bit of those winds that are not meshing well, and it's picking up on rotation on the radar here too. So this is going to be one of those thunderstorms that we watch throughout tonight simply because of the history that we've seen kind of play out with this. Notice that we took it from Illinois into Indiana with that history of rotation through Licking, through Robinson, over towards Hudsonville, and now pushing into central Indiana. So we'll see how things kind of play out from here on out, but we know that this has had a history, and really this entire complex of storms has had a history of dealing with some rotation, seeing some confirmed tornadoes on the radar for this evening. When we look at some of the reports that have been coming through, a couple of them impacting homes. So we have seen some damage reports now. We have New Hebron, a mobile home that rolled over as occupants were trapped inside. About 3 homes or roofs have been taking off of houses there as well. We have another one there that a house was damaged. Move over into Indiana. A couple of new reports starting to come through. A large tree on a car there in Carlisle. Heading over towards Worthington. It looks like we had on the radar, bit of the road there was impacted by poles that were pushed over and left leaning. So that just goes to show how disruptive these storms were going into this evening. And as we kind of wrap out the night, we'll see a lot of that energy try to dwindle down, but until then, we're still tracking out these warnings. Here's another one. This is over Illinois. Tazewell is the county that's impacted by this. About south of Peoria, it does include the I-155 corridor as this pushes off towards the north and east, getting ready to crisscross the I-74 corridor. It looks like there's maybe a little bit of a hook trying to get in, indicate some of that rotation. What it has done is produce some hail on the back end. So Peoria, you're just shy of that hail, that trail of hail that has been moved through over you. But we look at some of the reports from that. up to 3/4 of an inch. So these storms definitely packed a punch, the first of the season, if you will. It's not even spring yet, but here we are with severe weather kind of unfolding at a large magnitude. When we zoom out for a bit, you can see the severe storm reports, anything from hail, also looking at tornado reports, also seeing damage reports that have popped up within the last 6 hours or so. And we've been on top of this. We've had Ian Oliver through the afternoon, Steve Bender through the early evening. I'm going to carry you through the overnight. So we're looking at this storm track that has continuously produced a lot of damage in a lot of places. Ohio hasn't yet been touched, but remember we have that tornado watch in place throughout tonight. So I think as this complex of storms continues to push off towards the east into Ohio, we'll see how much energy it has to play with moving through the late evening. Again, we'll take a look at what we have left going into the rest of this week, because it does look like not only have we seen the severe weather today, but we go through Friday, Saturday. We have a couple of opportunities for a level 1 out of 5 up across the board. So our first severe storm threat of the season so far of 2026 kind of playing out. For tomorrow, we're going to time it out for you. Early morning hours, you're waking up in Atlanta, Macon, Montgomery. You're waking up to showers and possibly some rumbles of thunder. But as we kind of push it forward, notice that we'll have more scattered showers into the early half of the day. Another round of storms that try to pop up by the evening. And this time around, it's a little bit more widespread. It's going through as some of those different complex of showers and storms before we really see a line take shape into Saturday. There's our front slicing through the southeast, producing an opportunity of storms right across central Georgia, as well as over towards the Carolinas. It clears by Sunday morning. So as we get into the latter half of the weekend, I think we kind of pick things up from there, becoming a little bit more quiet. Until then, Friday and Saturday, just know that we do have that severe weather threat among us here across the south and east.